Hello, and welcome to I Hate Talking, a podcast about talking, including etymology, frustrating topics, current events, and other random subjects. I'm Adam.
And I'm Steph. We are married, and we invite you into these discussions with us as we talk about the good and the bad of talking.
We hope you enjoy today's episode. Welcome to episode 92 of I Hate Talking.
Hi, everyone.
Now, it is ironic that our word or phrase of the last episode was continuity.
Yeah, because we have broken our continuity with this episode.
Yes, you could say we have a continuity error.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason for this particular continuity error was not because we forgot what episode we were on.
No.
And we actually recorded in order, episode 92, 93, and 94. But when we went to edit episode 92, it was irrecoverable.
Yeah, I spent so much time trying to fix it. And the Google and YouTube, nothing was helping. So we just chose to move forward with 93 and 94. And now we're back to record 92.
That's true. So are we going to do the same word and topic?
I thought so. But...
Okay. Well, let's do it. I mean, really, we are the only ones that would know.
Yeah, no one knows.
No one knows. So
it was our best episode.
You'll
and y'all
just have
missed
to take our word for it that we are actually going to talk about what we talked about in our Erroneous episode 92 with our continuity error.
Yes.
Which our word legitimately was erroneous.
Yeah, I think there's something there that was meant to be.
I suppose so. And we had some issues even starting up recording on this day. So this episode.
Yes.
So we'll see if it even saves and the audio is in line with each other. We'll see.
Or just 92 never gets sent out and it's all erroneous.
Right. And maybe no one will even know the continuity error exists.
I would not have noticed if I was listening to a podcast.
That's true.
I don't even notice on our own.
So, like we said, our word is erroneous, and I think that's probably believable because we did reference that as a potential word or phrase in episode...
You don't think people believe us?
Yeah, I suppose they would, but I mean, hopefully
Why would we lie about?
Demonstrated that we're honest people, but they have really no way of knowing.
We're not lying, guys.
I mean, it's a bit of a thought experiment, right? Is that, can you trust somebody to tell you something that they have done when you have zero knowledge of it, and now they are referring back to these particular experiences?
Well, okay, for AI, right? I was having a conversation with one of our kids recently. I was explaining there used to be this phrase, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but it's not true anymore. Because how many times do we see photos and I'm like searching to see, like, is it a true photo? Was it doctored at all? Because there was a time that if you had a picture, there was proof. But now everything gets doctored up, no matter how big or little. So it's hard to believe the photographer. It's hard to believe the creators of podcasts or TV or news or anything.
That's true. Even with videos, now they can be AI deepfakes or AI videos. Maybe we're not even real. Maybe we're just AI voices.
I don't think I have a good AI voice. I have too much inflection. Is that the term? AI is not that good yet, right?
That's what they want you to think.
That's true.
So, Erroneous. Do you remember discussing it in our Erroneous episode 92?
Maybe.
So, we did discuss it, and I believe I defined it as basically something that is filled with errors or basically has a lot of mistakes. So it is erroneous, or maybe even a particular result that is erroneous. It is an error, and it's more of the adjective of the subject that describes its state as being in error.
Yeah, and it's more severe, right? It's not just like a whoopsie doopsie kind of messed up. It's more severe than that. Is that true?
I think it does carry a certain weight that if somebody says something is erroneous, that it's a little bit more severe. than just saying like, this isn't right or that's incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
That is erroneous.
Yeah, that just kind of makes you stop more like, oh, it's a serious business.
So let's check our favorite Oxford Language Dictionary for the official definition and the etymology. I suppose that it's just going to be from the word error.
All right, let's find out.
Yes, I do remember this. So we got the definition pretty much correct, that it is an adjective that simply means wrong or incorrect. Now, the interesting thing that I think we discussed last time, and I guess we'll discuss again, is that this is from Latin, from errare, which means to stray or err, and then used in Latin as errare, as arrow, which means vagabond, and then became erroneous when combined with the English ous. So erroneous is basically that thing that is wrong or incorrect. But I think the interesting thing is that it has the particular word of vagabond that it sort of flows through when we were talking about errors or erroneous.
Right. So a vagabond, right, is, I mean, not a positive term. I don't think anyone wants to be called that. But that's more like you have no place to go, right? Or no successful job, or is that correct?
Right. Yes, you are sort of on the move, not necessarily having a particular destination or domicile.
Yeah. And so that's interesting that erroneous came from that, because they say that's wrong or it's an error to be a vagabond, like to be someone who doesn't have roots and someplace stable to call home.
Yes, I suppose so. So some more information from the English Language Exchange, where there was some discussion on the difference between wrong and erroneous, is that wrong can be more of a broad term for anything incorrect, immoral, or unjust, while erroneous specifically means factually incorrect or mistaken. So I think that's probably why I do think of erroneous in terms of more with like data or spreadsheets or calculations, that it is a erroneous result. And it is still wrong, but it's not necessarily like morally wrong. It is just an error.
Okay. I believe that. And yeah, 'cause I think I don't hear that term very often, but I don't deal with spreadsheets as a career. And so maybe you hear it more often. Is that a term you'd often use in work?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
So I think we had some clever transition from erroneous into our topic, but I don't remember what it is. So we're just going to jump right into our continued review of our unknown number of episodes mini-series about reviewing various venues and events that we have done in the past year or so. And this particular one is Oktoberfest.
Yes, because you can only be clever once, right? You can't think of another.
I mean, some people can be clever more than once, but that does seem to be a limitation for me personally.
Oh, no. But Oktoberfest, I think it was one of our favorite vacations we took this year, right?
Yes, it certainly was a highlight. So okay. Oktoberfest was a particular weekend in a local town that we visited, and they have this particular Oktoberfest every year, and it is a destination Oktoberfest, and everything is done up in German decorations, and they have the beer and the local German fare in terms of all the different food. So we partook in a number of those things where we enjoyed all the German fare.
Yeah, I mean, it first started with, I think we've talked about on the pod before, about how you've always wanted to go to Germany, and it's been a lifelong goal of yours, so we want to make it happen. But we always go back and forth. Should we bring all the children? Should we just go the two of us? Going overseas, just the two of us, is a little disconcerting, leaving the kids in a different country across the world. But also it's very expensive to travel with a big family. So we kind of were like, let's do this as a practice run. Let's all go to Oktoberfest. If the kids hate it and don't appreciate the German architecture and music and all that, then they're staying here and we go. But if they love it, then maybe we can save up and swing that all of us go together. So that was the premise of why we went this year, right?
That's true. So a bit of a test run for a full German trip. But everybody seemed to enjoy it immensely. So
They all loved it.
they liked the decorations and the music and especially the food.
Oh, man. We bought so much food. We could not stop feeding them. I mean, as a family, we tend to eat German-esque food. I mean, I'm not German. I wasn't raised that way, but I have tried to adapt German cooking to an extent. So we eat a lot of like sauerkraut and brats and stuff like that, and a lot of pickled things. So we are used to it, but this food was next level amazing. And all the kids we'd bring a plate and they devour it in a minute. So we'd have to go get more.
That's true. So they did have pretzels, which I think we had at the first stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then the main meal was different bratwurst and wiener schnitzel and sauerkraut, which was, I think, the highlight, which it was like homemade, real style sauerkraut.
So yeah.
And the mustard was also very impressive because it wasn't like American mustard. It was like true German brand mustard. And that was also very excellent. And then I think there was just some rye bread, which some kids liked and some didn't like as much maybe, but they all devoured all the meat and sauerkraut.
Yes, that was really fun seeing them really get into the culture, really get into the food. There were live bands at this location, and they were having a blast listening to the music, and the weather was not good. It was pouring rain. Like, walk outside and you're drenched. It looks like you went swimming. And there's this big hall that is in the area. It's where everyone goes. So they have live music there, and that's where most of the food is. But we went outside because the music was loud, and very few people were out there because it was pouring rain. There's some umbrellas that we stood under. And even in that pouring rain, they had the best time. They were dancing to the music. They were playing cornhole. They were it was a really, really fun family day.
That's true. And it wasn't too cold, but it was on the cold side.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, everybody was outside in the rain and enjoying themselves. And like you said, it was a fun family day.
I think one of the concerns I had was one of our kids had broken their leg. And so I was concerned about how wet it was.
When did this happen? They broke their leg?
What?
We had a kid at the Oktoberfest with a broken leg?
You don't remember this?
Well, to clarify for our listeners, it was not a broken leg. He had a boot on because he had an injury to his heel.
Okay. Well, they want to rewind it then?
No, because I think it's funny because it's not quite as bombastic as a broken leg. But he was in a boot, so.
He had fractured his heel plate. But yeah, it was a boot. So you could take it on and off, and that's why we kind of went. If it was like a hard cast, yeah, we wouldn't be able to because of the amount of rain. But even then, we didn't know how he'd be able to walk on it. And, we still need to keep it dry and safe, right? Or is that not an issue? Was that not an issue for you?
I mean, I certainly was aware of it and that we couldn't do like too much walking or go too fast or, make sure that he had enough breaks to rest his foot and stuff. But I was not as too worried about it. It's not like he was in a cast that would have gotten wet or something like that.
Right. But yeah, so we had a great time.
And then we did have some German beer. And at this particular location, they have mini kegs for sale. And you can buy the mini keg. And it was really not that expensive for as much that it contains. And it was, again, official export from Germany that was real German beer that I've never actually seen before in the U.S. So it was definitely something that was very legitimate from Germany. And then there were a few people outside. So there was a group of, I don't know how many, 10 or 12 or 13 or 14 people outside in the tent, and we were able to all enjoy the keg together.
Yeah, it worked out really well because kids are allowed there, but it's definitely not necessarily a kid-centric event. So when the kids wanted to go outside, I was glad, like, okay, this is a good spot for them to kind of run around and get their energy out versus just sitting in a chair listening to the music. And so I think we did buy the mini keg because, again, the pricing point was great. But obviously, there's no way we could drink all that, two of us, responsibly or enjoyably. So we were able to pass it around and share with everyone out there. And then I think that made them really happy that we were there. And so it also made them really happy the kids were there. Like, everyone was able to appreciate the kids and not be annoyed at them running around or playing games because we were sharing and being generous.
That's true. And then you do get to keep the keg as a souvenir, so we did do that as well. And after we were finished up at the particular location, we were able to take our little mini keg that was empty with us.
Yeah, it was really cool. It had, like some German photos on it and stuff, and it was really cool. When we left, it was interesting because you have to have it empty before you leave. You cannot take it with anything in it per, I don't know what it is, city laws or state laws or whatever. And so they have to check it at the door. And I was staying behind doing a photo op with some of the kids, and you left with the keg that was empty. And they checked it at the door, and you continued walking. Well, a security guard or someone tried to get the other guard that talked to you's attention and have him stop you. And they tried to, but you had already left. And it was like this, they kind of just like, oh, well, kind of thing. And I was at first like, oh, no, are we not supposed to take it? Because we were told we could. If it was empty, he checked it. It was empty. So I was confused at what was happening until we realized that they take photos of the people who finish a mini keg. And then they post it on their social media. So they were trying to get you to take a photo. And I am glad they did not do that because I don't think that's a great thing. I mean, you see their social media, there'll be people that just finish one by themselves. And I hope they Ubered or whatever and are safe and good. But I don't think you need your photo on the internet holding a keg up as if you drank all that yourself when we shared it, like you said, with that huge group of people.
That's true. So nonetheless, we were able to leave the venue and not have our photo taken. So it was the best of both worlds.
Yeah. And then after that, we went and got ice cream. That was another highlight for me.
Yep. So we walked around the little town in the pouring rain still. It was still raining at this point. It was rained pretty much the entire time. The whole time. But we did get ice cream and were able to enjoy that as a family as well as sort of the capstone of our time at Oktoberfest.
And something that was really meaningful for me while we were getting the ice cream, I was taking your guys' picture, you and the boys, and this couple that are, I don't know, about 10 years older than us, offered to take our whole family photo. And they did, and then they were like, oh, this is our first time away without our kids. They're all grown now. So enjoy this, because in 10 years, they all will be out of the house also. And then it made me flash to while we were at the tent outside the hall, there was the only other kid there was this baby that screamed the whole time. The poor husband and wife were trying everything to comfort the baby. They were taking turns. They were walking around with him. I think the grandpa was there at some point. He's trying to comfort the child. I just felt so bad for them because they were so stressed. And I kept trying to be so friendly and like let them know it doesn't bother us. I've been in the situation before where my kid screams and it can be so uncomfortable and you feel so much guilt or shame about it. So I was trying to be so like, oh, this is great. No problem. They're so beautiful. Like, we don't mind at all. You're doing a great job. So it was funny to be like, 10 years ago, we were that family with the screaming baby. And in 10 years from now, we'll be the couple taking pictures of the families. So it was like this whole aha moment for me.
And then 10 years from that, we'll be the grandpa with the screaming baby.
That's right. Then we'll be the grandpa trying to help our kids comfort their baby. That's right. Oh, man. Crazy.
A bit crazy.
You like that? I see your smile on your face. You like the thought of being a grandpa already?
I suppose so. I feel like one. Getting old.
That's funny. I can tell you like that idea.
So that is our review of Oktoberfest and the word erroneous. And if you did like this episode, you can always like, share, and subscribe. And it is helpful, even if you just share it with just one other person that you think may enjoy this particular episode or our podcast in general.
You made an erroneous error.
Can an error be erroneous?
What?
You could say I made an erroneous statement.
No, you made an erroneous leap. I don't know. In this series, we've been talking about, would you do it again? Would you go back?
Well, maybe I just wanted to put in a continuity error on purpose.
You wanted to see if I learned the word erroneous, how I could use it properly.
I suppose so.
I failed.
And you failed. So
I made it erroneous. It was erroneous.
You made it.
How do you use it properly?
It's just an adjective.
I know, an erroneous error.
Yeah, but I don't think you need to say erroneous error because error already infers that it's erroneous.
So bad. Error.
It's not like you could make a correct error.
But you can make a worse error. There's levels.
I suppose so, but the word erroneous is not levels. It is either true or not true.
Okay, so say the sentence properly using the word erroneous, and then tell me, would you do it Oktoberfest again?
So if I was to have an erroneous opinion, I would say that I would not do it again because that would be erroneous. So the correct opinion, and my true opinion, is that I would do Oktoberfest again and would enjoy the food and music and drink and ice cream, and that would be very enjoyable.
Yeah, I agree. I would definitely do it again. It makes me want to go to Germany even more, and it makes me want to take the kids too, because I didn't think they'd appreciate the architecture or food and culture, but they definitely did, and so it would be cool to experience it together. But yes, I would go to real Germany, and I would go back to Oktoberfest.
Indeed. So is this the end of our mini-series, or will we have another review next time?
Oh, I don't know.
I guess we've done 5, right? Even though they've been out of order. So we did
Chocolate World, Oktoberfest, Universal.
See, I was going to try to state them in order.
I'm just thinking now off the top of my head. There's one more. What's the first one we did?
We did Great Wolf Lodge, Universal Studios. Mm-hmm. Then we did Oktoberfest, and now we're doing Oktoberfest again. Wonderworks and Hershey's Chocolate World.
That's 5.
That is 5. Or 7. 6, 7. Because you're saying 6 because we did Oktoberfest twice.
Correct.
But our listeners only get it once. Hopefully. We don't even know yet.
We have
to try to save.
We'll see.
We have to try to save this episode and see what happens.
There's been plenty of errors at the startup, so we'll see.
We'll see. So you, our listener, will have to come back next time to find out if we have another thing that we can review, or if this will be the final part of our mini-series, and then we'll move on to other subjects. And you can always suggest a word or phrase of the episode or a particular topic that you may want to hear about. Mm-hmm. So from your friends at I Hate Talking, until next time, remember, it is only through talking that we begin the journey to understanding.